It's 6 o'clock, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. Hi, everyone. My name is Yalith. Tonight I'm going to be with you for 90 minutes teaching an intermediate and advanced Vinyasa class. This is the first time I've taught an intermediate Vinyasa class here. So just to say how this is different from an all-level class, I will be cueing faster. I will be cueing more in Sanskrit, and I will likely be giving less directional cues. However, if you get lost at any point, feel free to yell out at me and I'll try and help you, or you can look at me. I will be flowing the entire time. Yeah, I think that's all I have to say about that. So if you'd like to get started with me, if you have my playlist, go ahead and start that now. And we're going to start in Sukhasana. Legs are crossed. Find your hands to your knees. Sit up tall, lengthening through your spine, up to the crown of your head. And as you're ready, start to tune into the breath. We'll start with 3 cleansing breaths, in through the nose and out through the mouth. If you'd like to join me, taking a deep inhale through the nose, and a big exhale through the mouth. Inhale to fill. Exhale, let it all go. One more inhale. And with the exhale, allow your eyes to close. Taking a moment to come into the space, allow your breath to return to its natural rhythm. Another thing in this class is that I'm going to be giving more advanced variations. However, as intelligent and advanced practitioners, I expect that you will modify and take variations that feel good in your body and that are suiting to your practice in this moment. This isn't the time to do 80 chaturangas if that's not what your body is calling for. Rather, take the variations that you need. If you ever need help modifying something down, please, again, feel free to yell out at me. Throughout this practice, we're going to be working on some arm balancing along with some deep groin opening. One of the poses that we're going to get into is brahmacharyasana. So if you're familiar with yogic philosophy, brahmacharya is one of the yamas, which are some of the founding principles that as yogis we're supposed to live by. So brahmacharya is, the way I like to understand it and translate it, is directing your energy towards the things that best serve you and the world around you. It's been translated differently by different scholars over the years, and I'm by no means a yogic scholar, but that's how I like to think about this. So as we practice today, I'd encourage you to think about how you're sending your energy into the practice. Seeing if you can focus your energy to what you're doing on the mat right now. Through precise movement, linking the movement to the breath. But right now, not using any energy, just to sit here. Your eyes closed. Take a moment to check in with the different layers of your body. Start to tune into Anamaya Kosha, the physical body. Gently scanning from crown of the head down towards your toes. Notice any areas of tension or ease, comfort or discomfort. Eventually checking in with the pranayama kosha, or energy body. Noticing what you're bringing with you onto your mat today. Maybe exploring how you can direct that to best serve your practice and yourself in this moment. And finally, checking in with Manamaya Kosha, or the emotional body. Looking at all of these things without judgment, without trying to fix or change anything. Just observing how the body is at the beginning of this practice. As you're ready, we'll start to cultivate an Ujjayi breath, finding that audible breath in the back of your throat with a little bit of tension. Carrying this breath throughout the practice to help you power into more advanced asanas. And as you're sitting here, cultivating this breath for the first time in this practice, maybe for the first time today, maybe you start to play with the bandhas that help us so much in the physical practice. As you inhale, thinking of engaging Mula Bandha, root lock, and Jalandhara Bandha, throat lock. As you exhale, hugging navel to spine to engage Uddiyana Bandha. As you play with these things throughout your practice, notice how they can support you, especially as we get into more challenging arm balances and other asana practice. We'll be here for just a few more breaths. Is there anything else that you can let go of with your next exhale? Take one more breath in through your nose and out through your nose. And as you're ready, flutter the eyes open. Roll your shoulders up, back, and down. Release your hands to either side of you. And we're going to move into half lotus or any similar hip opening pose. If you're taking half lotus, finding the right foot into your left hip crease. Sit up tall. Sit bones are rooted into the ground, growing up tall through the crown of your head. We'll inhale, arms overhead. And exhale to find fingertips in front of you. Gently and carefully start to walk your fingers forward, only bending forward so much as you can keep your back straight. Engage Uddiyana Bandha, maybe pressing the floor away and thinking of slightly doming your back. And as you inhale, maybe thinking of drawing your chest a little bit more forward. Stay here for one more inhale. And on your exhale, round your back, fold over this pose. Release your head and neck, release your shoulders. Let everything be heavy to the earth. Again, intelligent practitioners will know when to modify poses. If this is too much on your knees, please back out of the pose. We'll be here for one more inhale and one more exhale. As you're ready, bring weight back into your hands and slowly walk back up to a seat. Inhale, both arms up overhead. And now exhale to find left arm to right knee, finding a gentle twist. Just starting to warm up the spine. Send your gaze back over your right shoulder. Inhale to find length and exhale to rotate deeper. If it's in your practice, optionally finding a bind with your right hand to right foot. Notice the breath expanding through all sides of your body. And we'll be here for 2 more breaths. One more exhale. On your inhale, unfurl back to center, walking your left fingertips out to the left side of your mat. Inhale, right arm overhead, finding length in right side body. When you feel weight starting to shift out of your right hip, energetically drive it back down into the mat to further extend through that side body. Maybe spiraling the gaze up to the sky to open the right rib cage. Finding intense energy through your right fingertips, finding as much length as possible there. Stay for an inhale and an exhale. Inhale to come up through center and release your weight back into your hands and cross your legs. Give them a little shake. Extend your legs, let your knees release. And as you're ready, we'll come to take that on the other side, finding half lotus or a similar hip opener with left foot into right hip crease. Inhale to find arms overhead and exhale, finding fingertips to the floor. Gently walk forward, keeping your back straight, chest is opening and pressing forward as your hips root back into the mat. Engage slight Uddiyana Bandha so that you aren't arching into your lower back. Breath is flowing. Find a little bit extra space in your heart with each inhale as we stay for one more inhale. And exhale to round through your back, coming into a full fold. Let your head and neck be heavy. Release your shoulders, maybe elbows or forehead comes to the mat. As you continue to breathe, you feel your lower back release here. Maybe playing with your bandhas here to see if that changes the sensation of the pose. And as you're ready, bringing weight back into your hands as you carefully come back up to seated. Inhale, both arms up overhead. Exhale to find right hand to left knee. Taking a gentle twist. Again, optionally to find a bind with left hand to left foot. If you did on the other side. Find length on each inhale and twist on each exhale. Feel your breath expanding to all sides of your body. Feel it in front body, back body, right side body, left side body. Stay here for one more inhale and one more exhale. And on an inhale, come to unfurl back to center, walking right fingertips out to the side of your mat. Inhale, left arm up overhead. Extend through your fingertips. When you feel your weight coming out of left sit bone, energetically driving it back to the floor. Maybe turn and gaze up to the sky to open left rib cage. Breath is flowing here. Stay for one more inhale and one more exhale. Inhale to release the pose, coming back to a neutral seat. Release your feet, release your knees, let your feet come in front of you. And if you're sitting up on any props, move them out to the side. As you find your feet in front of you, give your knees a little bounce, shake them out to release them. And as you're ready, we'll come into a reverse tabletop, starting to find feet to the floor, knees pointed directly up to the ceiling, finding hands a little bit wider than your hips behind you. Inhale to lift your hips, drop your head back if it's comfortable. We're moving into asana. On your exhale, swing your hips back, keeping your hips up off the floor. Heels can stay down as you come into this pose, hovering here. Engage Hasta Bandha, pressing finger pads into the floor and press the floor away with your shoulders. Inhale, coming back to reverse tabletop, release your head and neck. Exhale to press back, Brahmacharya variation. Maybe this time lifting heels up off the floor. Keep breathing, use your bandhas. Stay for an inhale. Exhale, heels release, inhale, tabletop. We'll take one more shot. Staying for the in-breath. Exhale to shift back, Brahmacharya. Heels can hover. Stay for the breath. In and out. Release the heels to the floor and release your hips down to the floor. Roll your shoulders up, back, and down. As we come into Navasana step pose, find this pose active with your hands on either side of your body pressing into the floor. Shoulder blades pressing down your spine, feet are flexed and active. Stay here for a breath. Growing up tall through the crown of your head. Noting any similar sensation to what we were doing in Brahmacharya. As you find it on a smaller scale in this pose. As you're ready, start to walk your fingertips forward towards your feet. Only as far as you can keep your back straight, comfortably. On an inhale, extending your chest forward, finding a slight arch underneath your shoulder blades. Breath is flowing. Maybe you can walk a little bit further. Press your heels into the floor for a resistance stretch. Stay for one more inhale. And exhale to fold forward, keeping your toes flexed. Let your head hang heavy. Release your shoulder blades away from your ears. Maybe hands come to any place on your legs or feet. Remaining active through the legs and releasing through the upper body. Can you feel the breath expand into this pose? As you're ready, find weight back into your hands and carefully walk back up to seated. As you're ready, cross your feet and dive over your ankles, coming into tabletop pose. Find a comfortable tabletop, and we'll take some rounds of cat and cow. Inhale to arch your back. Gaze shifts up. Open the chest. Exhale to press the floor away. Round your back, chin to chest. Finding as much curve in your back as you can. Moving through cat and cow at your own breath pace. Maybe taking some other movement, such as C shapes or barrel rolls, if those feel good to you as well. Allow your spine to move in a way that feels good to you as the breath carries you through each part of the movement. Maybe if you find a sweet spot, holding there for a moment. We'll be here for one more breath. And on your next inhale, come to a neutral tabletop. Find your Hasta Bandha, pressing finger pads into the floor in order to grow up out of your shoulders, pressing the floor away. Uddiyana Bandha, pulls your navel up to your spine so that your back is straight and stable. On your next inhale, extend your right leg out to the right side of your mat. Finding a variation of gate pose in your legs. Inhale to walk left hand to the center of the mat and sweep right arm up overhead. Exhale, thread the needle, finding right shoulder or cheek to the mat. Left hand can stay at your face or extend long in front of you as you find stability in your hips, keeping them even. Breath is flowing. Can you feel your left shoulder energetically rotating down towards the mat? As you stay for one more inhale and one more exhale. When you're ready, left hand becomes in front of your face. Inhale to sweep right arm up overhead. And exhale to find both hands back to the mat in Parigasana Gate Pose. Stay here for one more inhale. And on your exhale, find both knees back to the ground in Tabletop Pose. Take one breath of any conscious movement for an inhale and an exhale. Inhale to extend left leg out to the left side of your mat, finding that gate pose variation. Exhale to find stability here. Inhale, right hand to the front of the center of the mat, left arm spirals up overhead. Exhale, thread the needle, finding left shoulder, left cheek to the mat. Maybe you stay here or extend right arm to the front of your mat. See if you can level off your hips. Lifting left hip, pressing right knee into the floor. Keep breathing. We'll be here for one more inhale and one more exhale, finding right hand to the front of your face. Inhale, left arm up overhead, reversing the pose. And exhale to find both hands back to the mat. Again, stay here for one more inhale, finding strength and stability. And exhale to bring both knees back to the mat. Take one more moment here for any more movement of the spine to get you ready to flow. And as you're ready, walk your hands a couple inches to the front and out to the sides of your mat to give you a nice wide foundation. Tuck your toes, hover your knees, and press back to downward facing dog. Release your head and neck to neutral. See your shoulders pressing the floor away, finger pads claw the floor. Hips dial up to the sky, taking a deep bend in your knees if that feels good. Take a moment of any conscious movement, pedaling through the feet, maybe rotating hips. Allow your heart to melt down through your hands. And eventually finding a moment of stillness in your downward facing dog. Inhale to rise up higher into your toes. Arch to your back, undulating forward to plank pose. Finding a straight back from your heels all the way to the crown of your head. Exhale, bend your knees, press back, downward facing dog. We'll take that 2 more times with your own breath pace. Inhale to rise, shift forward, plank pose. Exhale, press back, downward facing dog. One more time, inhale. And exhale, downward facing dog. Find one more breath in downward facing dog. Inhale to rise up high on your toes, lift to the front of your mat and gently step between your hands. Coming to Uttanasana, forward fold. Find opposite hand to opposite elbow in ragdoll pose. Release your head and neck as you waterfall your spine down to the earth. Maybe swaying a little bit back and forth. When you're ready, release your hands to the earth. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Deep bend in your knees. Inhale to slowly roll up to Tadasana Mountain Pose. Roll shoulders up, back, and down your spine. Energize your fingertips, palms face forward. Take a moment in Tadasana to find your bandhas. Find Jalandhara Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha, Mula Bandha. Notice how they are expressed differently in a standing asana than a seated posture. As you are breathing deeply in and out through your nose, we're going to take 3 rounds of sun salutation A. If you'd like to go ahead, taking any variation. If not, I will cue you through a classical variation. The first time, inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, deep bend in your knees, swan dive forward. Hands meet the mat, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to fold, step back, plank pose. Inhale here. Exhale, shift forward, lower your elbows into chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Press through your hands. Inhale, rise up high onto your toes, look to the front of the mat. At the bottom of your exhale, step or float between your hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale, arms overhead, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, hands to heart center. Go through that or variations of it 2 more times at your own breath pace, luxuriating through all of the movements. If you need a refresher, look up at me. Breath is flowing, driving the movement. See if you can make this into a dance as you express through each joint, each muscle, finding as much expansion as you can. Always an option to come down to your belly and find cobra pose instead of upward facing dog. Eventually find yourself in downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. And take a moment to breathe here. Take any conscious movement, maybe a little bit of a twist here. Press strongly into your hands. And when you're ready, we will step or float to Malasana Yogi Squat at the front of your mat. When you're there, find a long spine, tailbone driving down to the floor, crown of the head energizing up to the ceiling. Feel your elbows pressing into your knees as you grow tall in this pose. When you get here, option to take a little bit of movement. I've been really enjoying this recently. Just taking a moment to really settle into this pose, rocking from one foot to the other. And eventually coming to neutral for a moment of stillness. We'll take some twisting here. On your inhale, find your right hand to the outside of your right leg and open left arm up to the sky. Breath is flowing. Option to stay here. Option to take a bind. Thumbs point down as you wrap around your right knee. Gaze remains over left shoulder. Breath is flowing. Stay for one more breath. Inhale to extend arms out to the side and exhale to come back to neutral. Take a moment to release your legs again, shifting from one side to the other. Releasing your knees and ankles, giving them a moment to breathe. Eventually, again, coming back to a moment of stillness in Malasana. And now finding left hand to the outside of left foot. Inhale, right arm through your heart, extending into a twist. Option to stay here or both thumbs turned down to take a bind around your left knee. Gaze stays over right shoulder as you stay for the breath. Eventually on inhale, extend arms back out. If you fall backwards, that's okay. Coming back into pose, stay for an inhale. And exhale to come back to neutral. Arms at heart center. On your next inhale, shoot your hips up to the sky, coming into a wide-legged forward fold. Just take a breath here to release everything down to the earth. Bending your knees as much as you'd like, letting your head and neck relax, feeling the traction of gravity. Maybe swaying a little bit from side to side. releasing the compression on your knees that you find in Malasana. As you're ready, kick your toes out and squat back down, coming back into Malasana Yogi Squat. Option to stay here or to walk your hands far back behind you, coming into variations of Titibasana. This is a very powerful arm balance, engaging all your bandhas. Maybe feet cross and float up off the mat. This is a great arm balance to practice because the only way you're going to fall is back onto your seat. So it's pretty safe and can give you that feeling of being up on your hands. And keep it playful, allowing yourself to come in and out of the pose as much as you'd like. Maybe if you'd like, extending both legs long or aiming towards it. Breath is flowing no matter where you are. Play for one more breath. And as you're ready, find your seat to the earth. And we'll take a moment in Upavisthakonasana, wide angle pose. Take your legs wide to either side of your mat and sit up tall, finding length through the crown of your head. As you've been doing throughout class, walk your hands forward just as far as you can keep your back straight. And stay here for the breath. Inhale, finding length in your heart, opening, chest forward. Breathe here. Stay for one more inhale. And on your exhale, round your back. Maybe elbows or forehead comes to the mat. As you release through the head and neck, letting everything be heavy to the ground. Keep your toes pointing up to the ceiling, activating through your legs. We'll take a moment to breathe here. Option to stay energizing through your feet or to allow them to fall forward. Just letting everything go into this pose, maybe finding a block under your forehead, just taking a moment to reset and to release. If a little bit of wiggle feels good to you here, definitely take that. As you're ready, find weight back into your hands, energize through your legs as you come back to sit. Sit up tall, feeling energy shooting out through both of your heels. And as you're ready, use the help of your hands to slowly bring your feet back up, knees pointing to the ceiling. Take a moment to curl over your knees, finding a little ball, allowing your hips to release. Maybe shifting back and forth a little bit. And as you're ready, coming through Sukhasana, dive over your feet, coming to tabletop. And eventually pressing back into downward facing dog. Energy through your hands, heels press down to the mat. Find support in your shoulders. And as you're ready, step feet together at the back of your mat, big toes touch. Inhale, right leg up overhead, hip stack on top of hip. Find a puff of air under left armpit to support your shoulders. Weight is in both hands equally. Stay for a breath in. Exhale to take a large right step forward between your hands. Spiral back foot down. Inhale to rise, exhale to settle, warrior two. Fierce warrior two, finding a 90-degree bend in your front knee. Feel the strength. Inhale to reverse your warrior. Exhale, we find side angle pose, lengthening through your top body, extending through your left fingertips. Open your left rib cage. Option to stay here or to come down into a more full expression of the pose. Sending your chest in front of right knee, as right knee continues to check back over your small toes. Great place to stay here, or if you'd like, turning both thumbs towards each other, wrap around the right leg to find a bind. Open through your chest, gaze over left shoulder. Again, this is a great place to stay, but if you'd like to move towards bird of paradise, gaze shifts down to the mat. Hop your left foot forward to the front of your mat. Bring feet close together with the intention of big toes touching. They might not get there, but coming close as you shift weight onto your left foot. Inhale, slowly coming up to stand. Coming in and out of this playfully. As you use your bandhas to find the pose. Eventually come to find a forward fold. If you're in bird of paradise, and step your left leg back, coming back into warrior two. Inhale to reverse. Exhale, cartwheel, hands to the ground. Turning right knee down to the earth. Step back into plank pose. Take your vinyasa or press back, downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Take a moment to breathe here. Noticing any difference between left and right side body. And when you're ready, walk toe feet together, big toes touch. Inhale, left leg lifts overhead, hip stack on top of hip. Find a puff of air under right armpit to stabilize shoulders, weight is even between hands. Stay for an inhale. Exhale to take a large left step forward between your hands. Spiral back foot down. Inhale to rise, exhale, settle, warrior two. Gaze is fierce over your front hand. Inhale to reverse. Lengthening through left side body. Inhale. Exhale to side angle pose. Finding an opening in right side body. As your gaze spirals up, opening rib cage. Option to stay here or option to release left hand to the ground for a more full expression of Utthita Parsvakonasana. Side angle pose. Option to stay here or to take the bind around your left leg. Find secure grip here. If you want to take bird of paradise, gaze shifts down as you hop your back foot to the front of your mat. Engage Uddiyana Bandha as you rise and extend left leg. Again, it's okay to come out of this pose as much as you would like. Eventually find a forward fold if you're taking bird of paradise. Before stepping right leg back very far, coming back into warrior two. Inhale to reverse. Exhale, cartwheel, hands down to the mat. Step back, plank pose. Stay for an inhale. Exhale to take your vinyasa. Finding downward dog. Take a few breaths either in downward facing dog or child's pose to reset. This is a good time to grab a sip of water if you'd like. Tune back into your dive breath as you find length through your legs and arms. Heart melting towards the earth. As you're ready, we will meet all together in downward facing dog. Find your feet to hips distance at the back of your mat. Equal weight in both hands. As you're ready, inhale to lift right leg up off the ground. Bring right foot through your left knee, thinking tree pose. As you come to grab right big toe with peace fingers coming into a variation of Vashisthasana with Padangusthasana. Stay for an inhale. Exhale to release your grip. Take the right arm long all the way over your head, coming into plank pose. Stay here for a breath. Exhale to take your vinyasa and meet in downward facing dog. We'll take the same thing to the left side. Inhale to lift left leg. Hips are square. Exhale. Left foot comes through right knee, thinking tree pose. As you grab left peace fingers to left big toe, extending leg long. Stay for an inhale, exhale. Feet and hands go all the way around. Coming back to the mat. Finding plank pose, extend through your chest. Stay for an inhale, exhale to find a vinyasa, and eventually downward facing dog. Take a few breaths in either downward facing dog or child's pose to release your arms. As you're ready, we'll meet back in downward facing dog to take that same flow, that little mini flow again, of raising one leg, bringing it through your knee and out to a Vashisthasana variation with Padangusthasana. As you're ready, inhale, moving at your own breath pace. You can hold this pose as long as you'd like. Eventually finding a lot of length through right arm to come back to plank. Stay for the in-breath and exhale, finding a vinyasa of your choice. And when you're ready, taking the same thing to the other side one more time. Eventually taking one more vinyasa to downward facing dog. Inhale to rise up high, and your toes look to the front of your mat, and at the bottom of your exhale, step or jump between your hands. Find a moment in ragdoll here, opposite elbow to opposite hand. Release your head, neck, and shoulders. Maybe if you'd like a release of your wrist, finding another variation of Padangusthasana with your hands under your feet, allowing your feet to press into your hands, releasing your wrists. Elbows can go wide as you release your head and neck down to the earth. Stay for a breath. Let everything go here as you take an inhale. Exhale, let everything go. Maybe shifting weight forward and back, more into your hands, more into your heels. Finding anything that feels good. As we move into one more section of flow, hands come back to the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale, arms overhead, Urdhva Hastasana, upward salute. Exhale, hands to heart center. Energy balances between left and right side body. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale to fold, swan dive forward. Inhale, halfway lift, Uddiyana Bandha, pulling navel up to ceiling. Exhale to fold, step back, plank pose. This is your last chaturanga of the day. If you'd like to take it, we meet in downward facing dog. Press your heart through your hands, opening your chest, finding a nice long pose. Feet are hips width distance, hands are energizing into the mat, fingertips clawing down for Hasta Bandha. Breathe. Inhale to lift right leg up off the mat. Exhale, sink right foot to the outside of right hand for lizard lunge. Find length here, extending your heart forward. Option to stay here, option to release knee down to the earth. Option to stay here, option to come down to elbows. Wherever you are, we'll be here for a few breaths before optionally taking an arm balance. If you intend to do the arm balance here, maybe moving things out of the way so that you can be safe. Taking a few more breaths here. If you'd like to take the arm balance, come with me. Inhale to come back up onto your hands, staying in lizard lunge. And inhale to lift back, knee up off the floor. Heel toe your right foot towards the center of your mat as you cross right hand under it. Left hand comes back by your side, so that left elbow is by your hip as you move your right leg out from under you. Eventually floating, legs off the ground. When you are in the arm balance, breathe. Engage all of your bandhas. Press the floor away energetically. Give yourself permission to come in and out of it as much as you would like. As you're ready, come back to the high lizard lunge with your chest open, up on your hands, energize through your back foot. And on an exhale, just step back, downward facing dog. Release your head and neck. Bag your tail up to the sky. Inhale to lift left leg. And exhale to step left leg to the outside of left hand, coming into lizard lunge. Take a moment of stability here, hips lifting up. Option to stay here. Option to release knee to the ground. Again, pulling your heart forward, opening through your chest. Stay for the breath. Option to stay here, option to come down to elbows. This is a great chance to give your wrists a little break. Taking some breath into this pose. As you're ready, bring weight back into your hands if you're taking the arm balance to this side. Again, energize through back leg. Heel toe, left leg to the center of your mat as you wrap left arm to the outside of your left foot through your leg. Find your right arm to your hip. And eventually come into pose. Try and come out of the pose as carefully as you can. Taking a break when you need to or want to. We'll take a few more moments to play with this. It often looks very different from one side to the other. And that's normal. The goal is to learn to work on both sides in their differences. Eventually come back to lizard lunge. Finding weight into your hands, opening through your chest. Inhale to tuck your back toes, extend through your back leg. Take a large left step back to downward facing dog. Take a few breaths either in downward facing dog or child's pose. If you'd like to release your wrists, please do so. As you're ready, we'll find ourselves back in downward facing dog. For one last time in this class, press your heart to your arms. Inhale to rise up high on your toes. Look to the front of your mat and step or hop between your hands. Walk your hands forward as much as you can while keeping weight onto your legs. And slowly sink your hips down to the earth. Trying to keep weight back into your heels. Eventually come to shift. Slowly as possible, coming to sit. Release your hands back behind you and windshield wipe your legs from one side to the other. Taking any movement you need here. As you're ready, come to sit. Sitting up tall. Dive over your knees, coming back into tabletop. And for one more time, melt back into child's pose. Releasing head to the floor. Breathe here, allowing your body to fully release. Keep your breath flowing as you release a little bit deeper into the pose. And as you're ready, come back up, reverse the movement, coming back to sit. Come to find knees pointing up to the sky, feet planted on the ground. Grow up tall in your spine. As you're ready, we're going to take variations of Navasana boat pose, coming to find hands behind your thighs, rocking back off your sit bones slightly to engage your core. Maybe toes hover off the mat. Maybe knees come to a 90-degree angle. Maybe arms extend long. Maybe legs extend long. Breath is flowing as you suspend. Hug your feet together to engage your inner thighs. Try to maintain a tall spine as your breath is flowing. Option to stay here or to lower down into low boat for a few breaths. Inhale, exhale 1. Inhale, exhale 2. Inhale, exhale, release everything down to the ground. Breathe. As you're ready, bring feet to the floor, knees point up. Release into the ground. We're going to take bridge and wheel. Whatever variations you'd like, we'll take 3 rounds. So maybe starting with bridge and progressing to wheel. Finding your feet pressing into the ground. Inhale to come up, lifting hips. Keeping your gaze up at the ceiling. Inhale and exhale. Release your shoulders, release your neck. Inhale to lift hips a little bit higher. And exhale to release down to the mat. Option to continue with that or to take wheel pose, finding hands behind your ears. If you're taking wheel, option to pop up onto your toes as soon as you come into wheel. When you're ready, inhale. Exhale to press up. If you're in wheel, press the floor away actively as you breathe. Take one more inhale and exhale to release down to the earth. Take one more like that, either variation. As you take an inhale and exhale to come up into the pose, bridge or wheel. Stay for one more inhale, lift the hips a little bit higher. And exhale to release down to your back. Take a moment here, windshield wiper knees back and forth one side to the other. As you're ready, we're going to take an inversion. I'm going to offer taking plow to shoulder stand. If you would prefer to take a different inversion, all options are great. Maybe taking legs up a wall, or if it's in your practice, headstand, handstand, or forearm balance. If you're coming with me, inhale to shoot legs back overhead. Keep your neck long and gaze up to the sky. Lift your hips up. Press your arms into the mat. This is a great place to stay. Maybe hands come to your back. And maybe One foot and then the other, come up. Thinking of stacking bones, coming into shoulder stand. Again, keeping gaze up to the sky, neck is long. Squeeze your legs together for stability. If it feels good, releasing your hands to the ground. Option to come in and out of the pose. We'll be playing here for a few more breaths. As much as this is an active posture, take a moment to feel the release of your feet, feeling the effect of the inversion as you reverse the blood flow back to your heart from your feet. We'll stay here for one more inhale and one more exhale. Inhale to lower carefully, legs up overhead, back to plow pose. Stay for an exhale. Inhale here, exhale to slowly roll one vertebrae at a time down your back, releasing your hips down to the earth. Coming to find your knees into your chest. No need to grab onto them. Just feel your back flat against the earth. When you're ready, come to take a happy baby pose, finding hands to the outside or inside of your feet. Drill your tailbone down into the floor. As you use this pose to open through your chest, release shoulders away from ears. Maybe sway a little bit back and forth here. When you're ready, release your grip on your hands and use your arms to pull your knees into your chest. Give them a squeeze. Roll a little bit back and forth and up and down your spine. And when you're ready, release your feet to the floor, knees point up to the sky. Maybe come back to windshield wipering knees from one side of the mat to the other. Letting your back release, nice and calm. Take a few breaths for any movement there in a cool down fashion, starting to calm down. When you're ready, finding stillness with both knees pointed up to the sky, feet planted on the floor. On an inhale, pull your right knee into your chest, give it a little squeeze. Maybe massage the joint into your socket, letting it release. Still using your Ujjayi breath. On your inhale, extend right leg up to the ceiling, finding hands clasped behind the leg at any place. Press your leg into your hands for a PNF resistant stretch. Breath is still flowing. Maybe elbows pull to either side as you guide the leg closer to your face. Breath is flowing. Trying to find ease in this pose. Stay here for one more inhale. Exhale to cross your right ankle over left knee for figure four. Your moment here to press open the right knee with your right hand. Option to stay here or to pull left knee into your chest, finding a figure four stretch. Hands can clasp around your left shin or behind your left thigh. Luxuriate through this, swaying back and forth, finding sweet spots, letting that hip release. Coming into your body, noticing what feels good and following that intuition. Stay here for one more inhale. Option now to extend left leg long up over your head, finding hands again to anywhere along the back of your left leg. Keep your tailbone rooting down into the earth. As you add a slight hamstring stretch to this, option to stay in figure four if that's more nurturing to you. Wherever you are, breathing deep. You stay for one more inhale and exhale to release the foot to the ground. Release your right foot down next to it. Take a moment to notice the difference between right and left side body here. Notice any differences in feelings of length or anything else that comes up. On your next inhale, bring your left knee into your chest. Massage around in the hip joint. Allowing it to release. As you're ready, extend left leg long up to the sky, finding a hamstring stretch. Hands can find anywhere to the back side of your left leg. You press your leg into your hands, breath is flowing. Place your shoulders down away from your ears, elbows open to either direction. Stay here for one more inhale. And exhale to cross the left ankle over the right knee to a figure four. Take a moment to press left knee with left hand away, finding an opening in your hip. On your inhale, pulling optionally right knee towards your chest, finding hands clasping around right shin or right thigh. Take a moment to really feel this stretch, luxuriating through any subtle movement. As you find a sweet spot to hold, you gently release. As you're ready, maybe extending right leg long, finding a little bit of a hamstring stretch, adding to that. Finding hands clasping anywhere along the back of the right leg. Root your tailbone down into the floor to maintain the stretch. Spine should be long. Keep breathing here. Actively press your left ankle into your right knee for a resistant stretch. Keep breathing here. As you take one more inhale, and exhale to release right foot and left foot down to the mat. Then shield viper legs from side to side. If you're ready, take your hands out wide to a T. Maybe goal post your arms. Just take a moment to release your chest, allowing arms to open. Notice how this might feel in the body. When you're ready, find your arms to a T and pull your knees up towards your chest. Cross your right leg over your left deeply, finding eagle legs. Shift your hips a couple inches to the right. And on an exhale, slowly release your legs over to the left side of your mat. Only once your legs have stopped moving, maybe gaze shifts over right arm. As you melt into the earth. Come back to the feeling of your breath, expanding into all parts of your body. Expanding through front body, back body, right side body, left side body. As you're ready, release the cross of your legs. Shift your gaze back up to the sky and carefully pull your knees into your chest even deeper as you slowly roll back onto your back. When you're ready, realign your hips a couple inches over to the left. Cross left leg over right as you slowly release legs over to right side of your body. Once your legs have stopped moving, maybe gaze shifts over left hand. Again, feeling the sensation of the breath. Breath is deep and flowing. When you're ready, release the cross of your legs. Shift your gaze back up to the sky and draw your knees closer into your chest as you slowly roll back onto your back. Neutralize your hips and release your feet down to the earth. When you're ready, cross your right arm over your left. Give yourself a hug. We did a lot with the upper body today, so allowing the arms to relax. Optionally kicking your feet out wide and not kneeing into the mat. To let your legs relax. As you're wrapping yourself into this hug, think of pulling shoulders away from the ears. Feeling breath into the space that might be experiencing tension or tightness. Option to stay here or to come to eagle arms on your back, crossing your elbows, coming to find palms. Inhale to lift your elbows up to your face, and exhale, drawing shoulders and hands away from your face. Notice how this feels different than doing eagle arms seated. Maybe dropping your elbows a little bit more. Hang around until you find a place that feels good. Eventually releasing your hands back to your shoulders, wrapping yourself back up in that big hug. Give yourself a squeeze, feeling the warmth and energy in your arms. And exhale to release the cross of your arms. Allow your hands to fall to either side, palms facing up, thinking Shavasana arms. And as you're ready, we'll take that to the other side. Now crossing right arm under left arm. Press your shoulders down. As you're ready, release the grip on your shoulders, coming into eagle arms on your back, palms pull towards each other. Play around in this position, seeing how you can find extra length in your shoulders. Stay here for one more breath. And on your exhale, release your arms back into that hug. Give yourself a squeeze, wrap yourself in warmth. And as you're ready, release arms to either side of your body in Shavasana arms. Walk your shoulder blades into your back. And eventually extend legs long into Shavasana. Allow your feet to open, releasing to either side. Feel your body sinking into the earth. Take a deep breath in here. And with an exhale, allow your eyes to close and return to the natural rhythm of your breath. Find rest here. I invite you to gently come back to the different koshas that we observed at the beginning of class. Taking a moment to check in with Annamaya kosha, the physical body. And drawing awareness around the body, starting at the crown of your head, forehead, tip of the nose, chin, chest, the whole right arm, the whole left arm, abdomen, pelvis, the whole right leg, the whole left leg. Relax the muscles behind your eyes, flex your jaw, flex your forehead, let your shoulders melt into the mat. And eventually drawing your attention towards your pranayama kosha energy body. And finally to manamaya kosha, the emotional body. Taking inventory of all these things, noticing any differences from the beginning of class to now, without judgment, just awareness. And eventually let go of all attention and just be. Live with intention. Walk to the edge. Listen hard. Practice wellness. Play with abandon. Laugh. Choose with no regret. Appreciate your friends. Continue to learn. Do what you love. Live as if this is all there is. As you're ready, start to deepen your breath. Come to awaken the body, wiggling fingers and toes, circling ankles and wrists. Maybe shake your head back and forth against your mat. And if you'd like to take a big morning stretch, when you're ready, come to roll over onto right side body. Rest your head onto your right arm. Take a moment in this pose to reflect on your practice. Come to find a moment of gratitude to yourself for showing up on your mat this evening. Your body for carrying you through this practice. And for this practice and everything that it has to offer us on and off the mat. When you're ready, press into your left hand, come up to a comfortable seat. This is the pose that we started class in. Come to find your hips rooted into the ground, pulling up tall through your spine. We'll seal this practice with 3 cleansing breaths, taking a deep inhale through your nose and exhale through an open mouth. Inhale through your nose. Full exhale. One more inhale. And exhale. If you'd like to join me, bringing hands to heart center. I honor the place in you in which the entire universe dwells. I honor the place in you which is of love, of truth, of light, and of peace. When you are in that place in you, and I am in that place in me, we are one. Om Shanti, peace. If you'd like to join me, bringing thumb knuckles to third eye center, we'll seal this practice with the blessing of Namaste. Namaste. Thank you for your practice.